long as they don't get to Laos, we've cut off their funds.
Which means we have to cross over into Laos.
People come from different parts of Laos, Thailand, and China.
Kennedy also finds himself embroiled in Laos and Vietnam.
To elaborate on point one, if we withdraw, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, Burma will fall.
I will not go down as the first American president to lose a war, going to Cambodia, bombing Hanoi, bombing Laos.
In order to avoid Laos falling under communist domination.
No, I lost mine in Laos.
What we have here, Senator, is one of the most famous temples in Laos.
47 in northern Laos and southern China.
Now, the same thing that got you fired off the radio can get you hired in Laos.
Which means you're not actually seeing the second biggest city in Laos.
You doped up bitches are gonna get sent back to Laos, and this fucking retard right here is gonna be testifying against you for a reduced sentence while you're getting cornholed in your cell by a gang of crackers.
Me and Laos are mad.
The North Vietnamese, they're pouring into Laos.
There are compounds all over northern Laos.
But Laos is in another province.
Exactly.
But like I told you, I can go into Laos.
Joining Bo Gritz, who's starting his own foreign legion to go in to look for MIAs and LAOS.
They will accompany us into Laos.
Laos is an uncommitted nation.
We have troops in Laos and Cambodia.
Exact reproduction of the POW camp in Laos.
Big bat, Laos?
The Laos is about to sail.
Our pilot, the communist shot down over Laos, and he's alive.
For the town of Laos.
Another hour they'd have had you confessing to germ warfare in Laos.
The guy who took 7 bullets and still flew us out of Laos.
9 miles west of Kisan, over the border in Laos, an enemy action was reported.
Well, if they can satisfy the Kingdom of Thailand's extradition requirements, then you'll be sent back to Laos.
With 206,000 more men, we can go into Laos, Cambodia, North Vietnam, and cut out the supply route.
Our last track was about Laos.
For the Americans, fighting a defensive war kept them from pursuing the enemy into their sanctuaries in Laos, in North Vietnam, and in Cambodia.
Laos? You know, there's a lot of sick kids in America.
You still be able to give us a couple of men to take us into northern Laos?
They could be from fucking Laos.
And others in Laos are arranging a plan to destroy Commander and his group of terrorists.
A task force of 30,000 U.S., Cambodian, Australian, and South Korean soldiers drove deep yesterday into the Hill 98 and Whalesback regions of Laos.
In Vietnam, not in Laos.
And up near the demilitarized zone, and of course out east, out of Laos, comes this major communist invasion.
The point's well taken, but there is no war in Laos.
I think my son's being held prisoner in Laos, but I need proof.
Laos, Myanmar, and Thailand export over 200 metric tons of heroin each year.
And Michael, after this, we'll be even on Laos. Laos is concerned.
Just like Laos all over again.
Laos, like Los Angeles, Las Vegas?
Sadlers, the Duke of Laos.
Marcus is volunteering for Doctors Without Borders for a year, and he leaves in 3 weeks, so we wanted to do it before that, before he leaves to Laos.
To his family hid in the northern plains of Thailand, fearing they were going to be sent back to Laos.
Is there even a University of Laos?
Look, I know my son's being held someplace in northern Laos, but I need to know exactly where.
You must have spent more time in Laos than Vietnam.
Stationed in Laos, 68.
Say Lyndon Johnson signed an order to bomb North Vietnam, Laos.
Beyond that, Laos.
It's the area where the borders of Laos, Myanmar, and Thailand meet.
I was 5 in Laos.
Foreign exchange law classes at the University of Laos.
But you know, Mongkok is in Hong Kong and we're in Mong La. Somewhere in the frontier land between Laos.
But then you must leave for Laos.
So we're pulling a third pilot out of Laos.
I ordered your favorite, Shang Laos for lunch.
The Laos government said yesterday North Vietnamese troops seized the government outpost.
They're in Laos. Diplomats.
Patrol got ambushed in Laos.
It's a prison camp in Laos.
Mr. President, the Secretary of State is in Vietnam, the Secretary of Defense is in Laos, and the Vice President is in Mexico City.
I've been in Laos, Cambodia, Nam.
Laos several months ago.
Laos is 10 miles upriver.
Look, you didn't hear this from me. There's a couple of men here in Bangkok who claim they've seen American POWs in Laos.
When I was 19, I did a guy in Laos from 1,000 yards out.
Just Laos.
Fucked us in Laos, and now he is going to fuck us in goddamn Vietnam.
Would you care to comment on the report that your family's potash mines in Laos are an environmental catastrophe waiting to happen?
Leonard, you know, the Laos think 4 months is not enough.
They knew each other in Laos.
10 years in counterintelligence, VP of Air America, Long Tieng, Laos.
Reginald J. Priest is the Vietnam War pilot shot down over Laos in 1969.
Wow.
6 in Paris in 1978, Laos 6 in 82, Thailand 6 in 1980, and on and on and on.
They secretly ran the entire war out of Laos.
Well, New Orleans, Laos was Paris's game.
And we can't use our place in Laos because
The U.S. government doesn't exist in Laos, and neither does this plane.
Before you were supposed to come on Lao, we didn't think you could come so early.
At the present time, we are concerned by the North Vietnamese move into Laos.
Tu es prisoner in camp in Laos.
Il paraît que cet été, quand tu reprends ta place à l'antenne, c'est best-seller sous le bras, à contrat à négocier à Laos.
Embassy in Laos.
American participation in Laos is at the request of the neutralist government, which was set up